What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. I'm super happy to be back. And today we have a special guest, our good friend Raf. Say what's up, Raf.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Raf and I connected it on Instagram. I saw his page. He's doing lots of great stuff, and then invited him on because he's definitely got a story to share. He's definitely have been in moments, and just like all of us, obviously, there's things that we get through, and then there's these moments that we know that there's something that needs to change. And obviously, with nothing changes until you do. For those, if you're a first time listener, right, the mentality or the psychology behind it or the methodology is influence creates thoughts. Thoughts then create these emotions. Emotions then drive our decisions and actions. Those actions get us to these outcomes, and then we have to really figure out if that it's a positive or negative outcome for us and the people closest to us. And then from there we just reverse engineer. If it's not a good one, we've got to figure out what was that influence, what was that thought, what was that emotion, and then how do we tweak those things. So thanks for coming on, Raf. I appreciate you. Just give us a little
Absolutely.
intro,
Thank you.
man. Let us know who you are, what are you doing now, and how you're helping people.
Yeah, so Raf, Coach Raf, and I basically run a gym here locally in Tampa, in West Chase area, and we do everything from like semi-private training, one-on-one, to like group fitness classes, nutrition coaching online, and we're adding online coaching to the mix. Um, Car accident like 26 or 27 years ago led me to becoming a personal trainer. I got T-boned way back then, and I was on the way to med school and doing what I thought was all the right things. And because of that accident and the rehabilitation I had to go through, I decided that I wanted to do this. And I started doing it on a small scale then, just more like trying to learn about it a little bit. Then some bad choices down the line kind of led me in a different direction. And I ended up getting incarcerated for 15 years, almost 15 years. I got a 15-year sentence, ended up doing 13 years and 9 months on it.
Uh,
And through that journey, I ended up, coming back and got back involved with fitness after doing the like kind of mandatory work release. I got into working in the restaurants, hospitality, which was really fun because being gone for so long, I got to experience so many people and different things and lifestyles and everything, and just kind of running wild for a little bit. But I met my wife at the restaurant, so I was washing dishes and fell in love with the bartender. And so now we're married and working on baby number two. So just really great opportunities through that. So like everyone always asks me like, do you regret anything? And I'm like, no, man. I was like, I wouldn't be me if I didn't have those experiences.
yeah.
So the lessons learned, the people I met, just everything has made me the person I am today that allows me to do the things that I do to help other people to change and grow also. So that's a long story short anyway.
Yeah, long story short, that's it. That's the podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in the next
Heard.
one. That was the whole thing. No, fantastic. So yeah, there's definitely a lot in there. Let's start off. Let's start off with you were going to, was it medical school?
I was pre-med biology at USF right here in Tampa.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I was in my like technically third year, but I had been there for like 4.5 years because I was
Yeah,
already partying a little bit, kind of hanging out,
gotcha.
and enjoying school. But decisions kind of got pushed my way, bigger opportunities, so to speak, in that world, and so
Yeah,
I just kept taking the bait, and things
yeah.
escalated quickly. And good times. That was right around mid '90s, so ecstasy just became a thing
Okay.
here in Tampa, and the
So
club
this was
scene really
in
exploding
college,
after
right?
hours.
In
I
college,
was.
yeah. Now, did you go to so you were going for med school in college, and then what
Mhm.
was I guess the accident was that before or
Yeah, so right then. So this was 1998. I got T-boned by a drunk driver. I was actually leaving a Tribe Called Quest concert
oh,
at USF, driving home, and I got T-boned. Older lady, probably 90, 80 something years old, 90
yeah,
years old,
yeah, yeah.
drunk, and just ran a red light and T-boned me. And there was some damage to my left knee and some to my back. And so being a kid, and I was 19, 20 years old, and doctors were like, man, if we start cutting on you now,
Yeah.
you will have to replace the knee, fuse the spine down the line. So we would encourage you to go through the rehab, get a personal trainer. Where we can recommend the doctor recommended somebody. I started working with him right away, and he just like mesmerized me to the process. So back then, no cameras, no phones, none of
Right.
that. And so he would take Polaroids of these girls, like fitness competitors and guys, and he would take a Sharpie and he would draw. He's like, all right, this month, if this is the plan, we're gonna like sweep out your quads, extend your lats to make your waist look smaller. And like 30 days later, they would look like that. And I was like, I want to do that. I was like, I want to help people change, and it was just really cool to see like the transformations of people And so I just got interested and I just hung out with him as much as possible. And during that time is when things kind of got a little crazy.
Okay.
I started getting more into it, so it kind of pushed me away from it a little bit. Working out was like I I want to say like the one thing that I was doing good in
Right.
because school started like fading out, but fitness, I was like, oh, I really love this fitness thing. So I kept doing that even with everything else. Like I would go work out at even 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah, me
before the
too.
club because it had to be done
Yeah.
regardless,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what. Got home at 5 in the morning, I got a workout session. It's too bad,
Yeah.
had to do it. So that was like this like anchor presence in my life. Then and push came to shove, things got a little bit ugly at that time.
Yeah. So how do
Um,
we get into that? So okay, so medical school, got into
mhm.
the accident. Then that's
Yeah,
when you met again another influence for training and physical training and
yeah,
who helped you kind of get back rehabilitate.
yeah,
So I'm
yep.
a big proponent too of surgery, like surgery as last resort. For me, I'm
Amen.
like the body's a beautiful thing, and if you take care of it, it's going to take care of you as well as the
Absolutely,
mind, right? The mind and the body,
absolutely,
if we can
absolutely.
connect those things, sometimes a little harder than not. But okay, so then you met him. You're working out as part of your core systems now, your core influences, beliefs.
Yeah.
And then so what was everything else going on? Because
So
like,
everything just started escalating the club scene. I just got more and more involved in, like I said, ecstasy was just becoming super popular. So like, and I don't want to get into like crazy numbers and stuff, but like, you could, at that time, you could get thousands of pills for peanuts and people were paying like $30, $35 a pop back then. And so like
yeah,
I'm a kid making thousands of dollars off of like these little pills. And then we're like clubbing. It's like Thursday. And we're like, hey, let's fly to Miami. We don't even have clothes, toothbrushes. We're buying
yeah.
it all when we get to
So you're making
Miami,
a shit
getting
ton of
hotel room.
money,
I
what,
mean,
selling
just
it?
banana. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it just
College.
kept going. And then we had a little scare. The cops, feds, whatever, like kind of came down on my group at the time.
Yeah.
And so I took a hard turn and switched to like other friends and switching to other friends. Things started getting more into like the cocaine
Yeah.
and that kind of world, like the other side of the club scene, I guess you could
Right.
say.
Right. The other
And
the other
so,
line. Right. Right. Right.
so met this guy and he was like, oh, we could do this and that. And then things just escalated again pretty quickly. And, I don't know, we were moving a little bit of weight, nothing super, super serious. But it turned out that that particular person got arrested on the way down south. And so he was looking at a 45-year sentence for armed trafficking. And he was already on the run for another charge.
Damn.
And so over the course of like 9 months or so, he built me into what he needed to get out of his sentence.
Got it.
So um, I didn't realize it was him until so I got arrested. Basically, he built me up to this thing. I'm having people over. I kind of had a scare because he tried to introduce me to a CI, and I was like, no. I walked out of the house, no way, and they just kept on and on and on. I was like, no, no, no. So, like I said, about 9 months went by. Finally, I got comfortable again. And one day I called him and I was like, hey, bro, I need some help putting something together because I haven't done anything in so long. Da, da, da. I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll come over. He comes over. This is all in the like police reports later. And
Yeah.
so during the time he was at my house, he said, hey, man, I'm going to call the wife. And he grabbed stuff that we were working with, took it downstairs and turned it over to the police to give them probable cause. And so they followed us to the delivery point. When we got there, they mobbed the car, dogs, the whole
Damn.
thing, kept us
The
out
whole
there. They're like,
scene.
all these things. The driver of the car turned on me like right in the car, like that's all his. I don't know what it is. Da 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 da. He drove out the parking lot. We have kilos of cocaine in the car, and he's driving home. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And the
Jesus.
cops are coming to me, and they're like, listen, I'm your Jesus right here. If you tell me what I want to hear, you can
Yeah.
walk on water and get out of here. I like that's ingrained in my head, and so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So I go get bonded out later that night. And then they were continuing the investigation, trying to put more charges on me. I guess it
Wow.
wasn't enough. So, like 2 or 3 months later, I'm at my parents' house getting ready to go have breakfast, and they mobbed my. I just picked up my mom and my brother. They mobbed the car again, pull my brother and my mom out, throw them on the ground, like dump my
Damn.
mom's purse on the street, like really, really bad. And right when that happens, a guy steps out from behind a car, and it's the CI that he introduced me to
Uh,
9, 10 months before. And I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what happened. And then I got put in this holding cell. And when I get put in the pod, a guy in there tells me that the guy who told on me told about the whole thing that he was going to set up to get out of his charges while he was in there. He was telling stories. He didn't say it
Wow.
was me, but he said, "Oh man, I got this guy. I'm going to set up. Da da da. We'll be."
Yeah. Yeah. Just to keep
And
help
so
reducing a sentence.
again, yeah. Long story short, he got 5 years. He wrote me this like apology letter. I was like, "Bro, that's between you and God. No, you
Yeah.
have to live with what you did for the rest of your life, and
Yeah.
I don't care. There's nothing you could say that's going to change it. So
Yeah. You
it is
still
what it
feel a
is.
certain way for sure.
Yeah. So I forgive him for what he did. I understand at this point because
Yeah.
like after going through it, I wouldn't wish.
Yeah. Right.
It's People always ask me again, like when I was in there, like, man, you smiling, you're happy, like you're having a good time. I'm like, yeah, you have to adjust and adapt. Like if you don't, like, what's the other alternative? It's like to be
Right.
miserable all day? No way. And so I made it fun. Like I found ways, and some of them were good choices, some of them were really bad choices. It took a little while. I think I'm going to say God. I'm a Christian, so God
Yeah.
sent somebody in my life that changed my viewpoint. At some point, he had 3 life sentences, and we still talk to this day. I've been a bad friend lately. I haven't communicated with him because he's still in there. It's an like an ordeal to talk to him sometimes. But he, dude, if you don't change what you're doing, you're gonna end up with life just like me. And he goes, I came in with one, I have three. And so he's like, you're gonna get put in a situation where you have to make a choice, and you're not gonna like either choice. But the one is the one you keep going, and the other one is the one where you end up here forever. And so I started slowly like making decisions, and like I ended up getting a job. So prior to that, I had already been in like 3 years, and I was just doing the same shit I was doing on the street. Oh, can I cuss? Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Okay. So I was doing things, in there that I was doing on the streets and just controlling the situation, what I thought. And he's like, bro, he's like, if I know what you're doing and I don't know you, they know what you're doing. He's like, so like you have to change. And so I got a job in the schoolhouse. I started teaching GEDs to like adults, and we did like adult basic education. We
And this
did
is while you're
in the dorm,
serving.
there's
This
people
is
who
while
have
you're
never had.
serving time.
I'm already in custody. Yeah,
Okay.
I got sentenced. They told me I was going to get like 5 years. It didn't happen. The state was like, we're sorry. Unfortunately, because of the amount of cocaine that you had, there's nothing we can do besides the minimum mandatory sentence of 15 years. At the time, I'm like 22, 23 years old at sentencing. And I'm like, man, that's
Dude,
lifetime. I
can
don't
I ask you a
understand.
question?
That's
Yeah,
40.
exactly. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot,
When they said
shoot.
that number to you,
Hmm.
what was that feeling and what was that emotion like in that moment? Because I would assume you can. It's still to this day you can feel it.
Yeah, so shut down. My whole family's in the courtroom. We're thinking I'm going to get 5 or 6 years. My lawyer has been telling me this for months, and I just turned around, and they immediately grabbed me, and they're like, "You can't turn around." And I was just like, just shut down. Boom. I'm like, well, okay, it happened. Like I got the chills.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's got to be
And
crazy to like just to
like
think like basically your freedom's taken away for a bit, right? Like for a lot
yeah,
of
at the
it.
time, like I don't think that like I would look at my older friends, older, 27, 28, and I'm like, dude, you guys are old, like just like kids, and I was like
Yeah.
40. I'm like, I'll be 40 when I get out. What do you mean? Like, what does that even look like? That's insane.
Yeah.
48 now.
Yeah.
But and then it was mandatory time because the statute was mandatory. So I'm like, so I don't even get time off for good behavior. It's like you do day for day. It doesn't matter what you do. So I'm selling out to everybody,
Wow.
like uh, nothing changes until you do, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm going in with the mentality that, well, I'm going to run this just like I ran the street, and I'm going to
Right.
do what I want to do. And so I went in there with that. And then, like I said, God put that kid in my life, and he just, we ended up walking. It took quite a few months for me to make that decision to like start changing. And I was still I got involved in gangs.
When you got in right away, huh?
Yeah.
'Cause you're like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna be here. Fuck it, right?
Uh, yeah. Friends from the street, they're like, hey, no excuse now. You're here. What's up? And so it just ran the wrong direction. And thankfully, God just protected me because he put me in the right places with the right people. And eventually, I was teaching school. From teaching school, I went into a drug program, became a counselor, did that for a few years.
How
I
did
kind of
that
goofed off
feel?
for a little
How did
bit.
that feel? That transition from like from your change, and obviously shout out to the homie, right? Like the one influence that kind of put perspective. And I feel
No
like
doubt.
that's super important. Like you said, whether it's God or what you believe in, universe, etc. Like
Yeah, no
there's
doubt.
certain situations that like it's presented to you to be like to give you that perspective,
A
right? So
hundred
like
percent.
How did that
100%.
perspective click? And then I'd love to like going from where you were to then all of a sudden educating and teaching. What was that shift like? So I guess initially, what was the thing that clicked for you when you were
Yeah.
like,
So I remember the day actually. So you get two sets of clothes, right? Two sets of blues, and like 2 to 4 sets of whites. So that's underwear, socks, and t-shirt. And so if you send it to laundry, if it's new, because when you first go, they give you new, it gets stolen, and you get like this ratty armpit stain, holes in your boxers kind of stuff back because the laundry guys, and no beef with them because it's a hustle. You know what I mean? They take it and they sell it. You can buy it too if you really want new stuff. So like,
oh,
everybody's an entrepreneur in some way, shape, or form.
yeah,
But if you send your clothes to the laundry, 99%, if you're not paying the laundryman to keep it safe, your laundryman's it's gonna get gone. So like you wash it in your toilet. You squeeze the shampoo into the toilet and you wash your stuff. And I had just done my laundry for the day. So I got my little clothesline, which you go to the box for 60 days, solitary confinement if you have a clothesline in your room, but you got your little clothesline, you have your underwear hanging in your room, and you're not allowed to take a bath until after like 4 or 5 p.m., depending on the camp you're at. And so you're coming off the rec yard covered in filth because it's sandy. You're working out because you have nothing else to do.
yeah,
And so I'm sitting there and I just washed all my clothes. I have it hung. We have about an hour where I think I can get away with it drying in the fan.
yeah.
And so I'm sitting there on my bunk and you got your mattress rolled up and I'm just like, dang, dude, you really freaking did it. Like you're in fucking prison for a long time. You've got to change something or else you're going to be here for life, you know? And so I had the little realization, and I was already like working at the school. So I had already kind of made the choice, but I was still doing the things. I was
Yeah.
still like smoking weed on a daily basis, which is super illegal in there,
Right. Right.
obviously. Um, I wasn't really worried about losing time because I had the mandatory sentence. So like I
Right.
had a roommate at the time that was supposed to get out in June, and one day it's like December, and he's just having a shitty day, and I'm like, bro, what's up? And he's like, man, I was supposed to go home 6 months ago, and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I lost all my game time because I got a piss test. And I was like, oh my God, thank God I don't have to worry about that. So I'm da, da,
Yeah.
da. But yeah, I mean, I, I guess so. I probably skipped this part of the story because it's kind of like a sore spot. But my dad passed away in '99. So like I had tried at one point to like get my life back together just before getting arrested and everything. And really, my mom, like, she is a prayer warrior. And like, she was on me. She arranged an entire fake operation with the Hillsborough County Sheriff to like pretend to have me arrested to put me in rehab. Like,
Uh,
all fake warrants and everything. It came out like a year later. She told me in like this
yeah.
family meeting
Yeah.
thing. And I like got out from the program and was doing good back in college, all the things. And like, my birthday that year, 99, I had rented a club but I'm drinking water, like I'm straight, going back to school. And I'm sitting in this club hanging out with my friends. And my mom called my phone at like 2 in the morning and she's like, you got to come home. And I was like, I'm not doing anything, mom. I swear I'm drinking water. And she's like, no, it's not that. I need you to come home. And I was like, what is it? You got to tell me. I was like, I rented this club. And she's like, I don't want to tell you on the phone. And I was like, I sat down and I was just like, what? You got to tell me. And she told me, I don't want to tell you, but your dad passed away. You got to fly to Puerto Rico right now. And I was just like, what? And I just got mad at the world, at God, at her. I mean,
Mm.
anything and everything. And that was like June, and I got arrested the following January. So I just like everything went nuts. Everything escalated. Um,
Yeah. That like your emotional roller coaster,
Fuel
basically.
on the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Right.
blew it. I was like, this is how God repays me for like trying to get everything back together. And
Yeah.
boom,
Fuck you. Yeah. I'm gonna
fuck
go
you, fuck the
fucking.
world, fuck
Yeah.
everybody. Let's go. And so yeah,
So
I don't
so
even know.
that so that that brought you back, right? That brought you back to that mindset of like I'm just gonna go get mine and fuck everybody else
Yeah.
kind of thing. Wow. Okay.
So
And then so when you were
um,
you
mhm.
had met this individual. How'd that happen?
So we knew similar friends from the clubs. And so the music and in there, music is all you have really
Yeah.
to like escape with. And so kind of there was like this I don't even, it was a station that played like rave music all night back then
Yeah.
on the radio. And so we connected with that. And he'd be like yelling across the quad, be like, dude, it's on. And so like, oh, no shit, I got my little radio, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So we're just chilling out. And so we ended up connecting with that and talking and blah, blah, blah. And there was actually a couple of those dudes. There was another one way down the line that actually got me to leave everything because I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out of things all the
Yeah.
way till like I would say 2010. 2010, yeah, was probably when I actually completely, again, people in the life, it ended up being that the one of the like heads of the gang that I was involved with at the time ended up being at the compound I was at, and he's like, "What's this shit about you?" Blah blah blah, and he was like, "Okay, well," he's like, "You're doing your thing." He's like, "I can't fault you." He's like, "You're working in the chapel, you're helping people change their lives, Christianity. You're also in the schoolhouse, you're teaching people, you're a counselor in the drug program." He's like, I can't hold that against you. He's like, I'm gonna say that you can walk away, and so like that's unheard of,
Whoa.
and so to be able to have that opportunity uh,
How did that
was
feel?
crazy.
Yeah, how did that
Uh,
feel?
no, it's kind of liberating, free, kind of scary because like
Yeah.
not everybody respects those decisions regardless. Like the last guy that I was, the other guy that kind of like talked me through all of that, and he ended up helping me like kind of make the whole 180, I guess.
Yeah.
He was in a similar situation and he had gotten beat up just previous to that. And I've heard that since then he's actually gotten attacked once or twice more. But he was a lot more involved from like the streets and just
Right.
really crazy
Right.
stuff. And so like not everybody respects those decisions, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, this wouldn't have things happen for a reason. This wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have been put in the same place as this guy. He was only there for like 2 weeks and they were like, you can't be on this compound. And they shipped him, but everything had already gone through. Like he wrote the letters to
You
the
already
street
said the
because
word.
it's
Yeah.
actually unbelievably organized how crazy those things run. Like they write letters and it bounces and everybody knows. I mean, it's
Whoa.
bananas. But but yeah. So anyway,
So that was it, huh?
um
After that, you were just like, that was like a
at that point,
reinforcing of doing the right thing, right? For you?
yeah, very, very shortly after that, the inspector. So at that time, I was working in the chapel, working for the admin. Like for me, it's peace because I was allowed out of my room at like 3:30 in the morning.
Mm.
I'm the only person out on the compound. I'm cleaning floors, but it's amazing because I'm by myself and it's nighttime. And then so like it's my meditation. I'm sweeping, I'm doing abs.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's just something for me to have escape.
Yep.
And so like I'm doing that and the inspector comes and wakes me up. He's like, I gotta ship you. I'm like, what? What's going on? He's like, bro, you're out on the compound at 3 in the morning with no cuffs on, no escort. He's like, I can't let you live like that. And I was like, I'm doing your work. Like you guys are, I'm not opening my own door,
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, but it just doesn't look good. And so they shipped me to like this little prison in South Florida, Belgrade, and I was there for a couple of weeks. And they shipped me again. So I'm like, what is going on? But it turned out to be a blessing. It was a road prison they sent me to, and so at that road prison, I got to do some really cool. We were guardrail squad. And so we would drive up and down the interstate and repair guardrails. And so our driver was super cool. He was into like the police athletic league, and so he would do these like CrossFit competitions for cops, basically,
Yep.
savage races, things like that. And so he's like, "Listen, if you guys work for me and do the thing, I will let you guys have the rest of the time." So we would like hustle from like 8, 9 in the morning to like noon, 1 o'clock, and then we had like I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Hopefully, no one ever figures out who this
Yeah.
is, but we would have like tires, cinder blocks, chains, and like all this stuff in the woods. And we would literally go there and just
Workout.
brush it, like
Uh,
work out. Even when we were doing guardrails, we'd be like, listen, drop us like half a mile from the site and we'll like carry these like 6 foot things and all the metal guardrail stuff. We'll lunge it down the highway to get to our site
and so
so that we
that's
could get workouts in.
yeah, that's where that now all of a sudden more physical movement training. So I feel like it's kind of leading into the training
100%,
aspect.
100%. Yeah. So I was just talking, we have interns at our gym from the colleges. So I was talking to one of them yesterday about it and I was like, man, he was like, how was it in prison? And I was like, bro, it was like having my own petri dish to study human movement and
Mm.
nutrition. Because imagine we have slop, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it fit for the pigs. It's
Right.
disgusting food, right? One, then we have a little bit of items we can buy from the store. Like thankfully my family,
Send you
even
stuff. Yeah.
no matter how terrible I was with them, they still like held it down for me, and they had enough little funds in my account that I could buy like tuna fish and oatmeal and
Mm.
peanuts and stuff. So that was what my diet mostly consisted of. But helping these guys that didn't really have maybe the money but options, and we just figured it out. And so like we would trade our cookies because they give you a cookie or a piece of cake every single meal. So you can
Yeah.
trade that for nobody eats their vegetables. But if you're like, hey, dude, I'll give you my cookie for your vegetables. Oh, 100%. So like now you're getting 2 or 3 servings of veggies. They give you white
Veggies.
bread or a biscuit every meal. skip the white bread and the biscuit, man. You can eat more rice and potatoes and pasta. You know, the beans are beans. You get on the vegan plan
Yeah.
and they give you peanut butter, beans, potatoes, vegetables, and fruit all day long. And so you get on the vegan and then you add a little bit of tuna
Yeah.
and peanuts and stuff in the dorm. And now you have at least
Now
something you
you,
can live off
right.
of. And so, but I got to experiment with so many different people and help them, you know, hit their goals even in there. So that was really cool for me
That's awesome,
in that
dude.
sense. And then running was probably the thing that helped me to like focus the most and kind of get away because that's the only place you can be by yourself. No, you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself because it's just a toilet. The guy next to you is just some toilet. He might be
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette, reading the newspaper, you know. So like, but on the track, put those headphones in, and you know, six
You
to
just
eight
find
miles of
it chilling.
solitude,
Yeah,
and you
right.
can just chill. Yeah, you
That's
find
crazy.
that like meditation.
Will
Hmm.
you take me then, I guess, through closer of getting out? The day you got out, how was that feeling? And then what
Yeah,
was the like coming from obviously 13 years of being isolated and then going and, coming back out, what were you
sure,
feeling? And then how did you get to where you got to now? And
sure.
we got
So
a couple minutes left, so we may have to do two episodes. So because
okay, I'm
this is
down.
good. I'm sure people are gonna love it.
Heard. Yeah, so as I got closer to getting out, I got blessed again. It's crazy how it happened, but I ended up getting sent to a work release here in Tarpon Springs, which is just adjacent to Tampa, on the coast. And so I went to the work release, got there, ended up getting a job immediately, and then I got bumped. Um, from the job because of a pay issue. They wanted to pay me, and the work release was like, "No, you have to pay us." And they're like, "Well, that's not right. We're going to pay him. He can pay you what he owes you, but we're not paying you." And so I ended up losing the job. And they tell you, "Hey, you don't have a job within another like 4 days. You're going back to prison." And
Wow,
so I started like hitting the pavement, and I got a dishwasher job at a restaurant. That's where, like I said, I met my wife. She was the bartender, and
dude, it's
but it was
crazy, right? Is that crazy? Like
crazy.
situational wise, how things work out?
Yeah. So being at that job gave me an opportunity to kind of like get back into life because I'm not gonna lie. So like the first like being in the restaurant was cool and I could deal with people because it was kind of like a controlled environment. But once you get close, they give you a mall pass. And so my wife now took me to the mall one day. She became my sponsor and like barbershop, church, laundromat, and the store.
Hmm.
And then, but the store, they eventually give you more time and stuff. You can earn like so she took me to the mall. I think I lasted 10 minutes and I just grabbed her like over her and I was like, you have to walk me out. I can't handle it. Like the
Yeah,
world has changed. So imagine the 90s
yeah,
to,
bro.
to what we are now. And I was
Yeah,
like, I gotta go. And she was like, really okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, but this is just too much input. And I was like, I'm freaking out right now
I'm
inside. And
freaking
so
out,
she like
man.
literally like
Yeah.
walked me out of the mall, took me back, and I was like, we can try again in a couple weeks or something. There's plenty of time, you know?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so it was just too much data. Like I was like in data overload,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so, but yeah, by this time, I feel like I had made better decisions and stuff, and kind of I took a lot of classes while I was in there. I got the opportunity if you're in there and you want to do school and teach school, they let you take a class. You can teach it for a year, and then you get to choose where you are. So that was down the line. I learned computers, I learned
Oh.
construction management, all kinds of different things. So I don't know, but um, yeah. Let's
Hey,
see.
Ref, we got about a minute left, so
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna definitely do a second episode.
Okay.
But for the viewers on a macro sense, like if they're dealing with something, or maybe in some similar situation where they know that there's some sort of change that they need to make, what would you tell them? Like out of your experience, the last couple of years of your lifetime, like what would be something that you would tell someone maybe in a similar situation?
Dude, do it. So one of my like fitness mentors or whatever, he always says instead of ready, aim, fire, ready, fire, aim.
Mm,
Like do the thing, shoot your shot. There's no reason that you can't if everyone else can. So like make the choice to change and then just run with it. Like pour everything you have into it. And as long as you are true to like the purpose that you feel like you have in your heart, it's gonna work out.
beautiful.
Just have to be willing to do it.
Let's go, everyone. You heard it here first. Thanks, Raph, for sharing your story. We're definitely going to do a second episode. And guys,
Heard.
just remember, keep crushing it. It's all in our heads. Make that change, commit, and go do it. All you just go do it. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. You guys have a great one. Talk soon. Peace.
Yeah.